Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm creating 2 birthday cards using my favorite things products. But first of all, let me wish you a happy new year. I wish you all the best this year, good health, lots of crafty time, that your family is well, that you just have the most amazing adventures this year. And I hope that you will be joining me in the upcoming year in my craft space here and get tons of inspiration uh, and just have some fun with your stamps, dies, etc. So today, let's immediately start creating some birthday cards. I'm creating 2. This one is a really simple one where I am just going to repeat this birthday sentiment that I formed myself with the essential alphabet set from my favorite things. And I'm going to repeat this die cutting several times until I have like the second largest basic rectangles from Mama Elephant completely filled with these die cuts. Now, just in case, I wanted first to do this with some purple tape, and there I couldn't see the line that I drew to keep everything straight and perfectly aligned. So my second attempt here is actually with some washi tape that is a bit see-through. So it's also Christmas. I'm glad to show this right at the beginning of the year so that my washi tape isn't outdated or anything. But this way I could see through my washi tape and make sure that the B was aligned with the, well, with the line that I drew with some pencils. And then I'm just repeating myself. I'm going to die cut several times the birthday, and then I will put some colored cardstock behind. It's almost a Laura Busson card, I think. So really simple, but tons of fun to make, and you can definitely change up the color scheme that you're using. I just wanted some sort of a gender neutral color scheme. I'm going from yellow to blue, and I really love this color combination. It's a really simple one, and since this card was also quite simple, I decided to make a second card also with this color palette, but then with a cute critter, so that everyone who is watching will have something that they like. So I hope to inspire you with one of these cards. So after die cutting my panel with all of the birthdays on top, I selected the colors that I wanted to use. These cardstocks are from Concord and Ninth, and I just trimmed them the size to fit behind the birthday. I think it's 2.5 centimeters. I don't know exact. And then the 2 colors on the outside I have a bit wider because it's not an A2 sized panel, it's a bit smaller, and I needed it to be later on an A2 sized panel. Now measuring, it wasn't exact, so I just trimmed down a sliver of this green cardstock and I continued. You can barely see that this one is a tiny bit smaller. You will know, but not the other people. And then I'm taking the largest rectangle to die cut everything and have this amazing border, also have the stitching details, and then I will add it to a standard sized card. Now you can also create a shaker out of this panel if you wanted to, or do something else with it, or create like a rainbow alphabet, die cut it out of several colors and then fill in the blank areas. Anything is possible, truly. So here I am using the alphabet letters again to get all of the innards in the exact area where they should be. And I'm going to do that for all of the letters except for the Y because, well, there is not a centerpiece to add. And once I have done that, then this card actually is almost finished. As I said, just adding it to a card base and then it's ready to go. You can also add embellishments if you want to. I originally wanted to add my critter on top of this card, but then while assembling this, I really loved it so much and the simplicity of it that I didn't want to add anything. Also an embellishment wand like I'm using here, or a quick stick tool, anything like that is really handy to get those tiny pieces in the exact area where they should be. And it's just like a puzzle. This part, it's really fun. I think it just fits, everything fits, and then you remove like that letter and it's just perfectly spaced out. So that is going to be my first card, but let's get this same color palette for the second card. Now for the second card, I'm using the Parachute Pulse. It is an adorable stamp set from my favorite things that has been released like a while back. But let's feature it again today. I'm going to try to do like last year, also feature some older sets just to keep them going, to remind us that we still have some sets out there. They are not as new, but they are still gorgeous or really cute. So I'm going to do that today as well. So the Parachute Pulse. I'm not going to use tons of images, and I am going to use a stencil as well. So let's make a clean and simple card with a stencil. I am using the Brush Strokes stencil from Clearly Besotted, which is a really nice one. Really lovely brush strokes here. I'm going to use the biggest one to create like a really fun background area to put on my images. Now this card didn't came together as I intended to, but I really love the end result, so I hope to inspire. To get the same color scheme, I actually used the darkest and the yellow color, the darkest blue, and then the yellow color that I also used on the birthday card that we just created. And I'm going to create a tiny gradient with this yellow and blue as well to get like also a tiny bit of green on this card. And so it will be just a short version of the color palette that we previously used. So I'm using these two blender brushes and I'm going to create like a lovely blend in the middle to get a greenish color. And so we have everything. You can also use all of the colors that we used previously, but in the end yellow and blue make green, so I was a bit like, I'm not going to combine 5 colors when I can create the same thing with 2. But these are the same colors as previously with the cardstocks, okay? So next up, once I was happy with the blend, I took the Parachute Pulse, I stamped out my images using the Extreme Black ink from my favorite things, and I used my Copic colors, well, Copic markers to color it in. So here we have our 3 images that I'm going to color really simple, clean and simple card. The clouds I will do the same colors, a bit more blue than normal, just to fit with that background that you just created. And then the bunny will have this lovely warm brown color combination. Now in case you want to revisit Copic combinations, you can always go to my blog post and find everything over there. Here I'm only using 6 markers today because of the limited amount of images and because of the repetition in images. So that's really simple. And I'm also going to use a white jelly roll pen today. Last year I used it on 1, maybe 2 cards, I think, because it's a bit outside of my comfort zone, but it's so cute and adorable, and there are so many ways to add your white highlights with a jelly roll pen. So definitely check out other crafters because I'm not an expert on this kind of well, addition to the images, but I really had fun with it, and I also added white jelly roll pen details on my background in the end, and that was also a ton of fun. I think it adds kind of a lot to the whole design. You don't need to add it, but you definitely can. So here, as you can see, it's a really teal blue kind of cloud. It's darker than what I would usually use, but I think it's sort of the lightest color that you can create with that ink that I use, Peacock. If you blend really soft, I think you can sort of create this this color. Of course, I have my gradient towards the yellow, so it's not exactly in the combination necessarily in the background, but you know what I mean. So once I'm happy with the coloring, I'm taking the matching dies. I'm going to adhere them using some purple tape to keep them in place while die cutting, and then we will be able to assemble our card. Now originally I hoped to be able to use the birthday die cuts, but I tried it and I didn't like it, so I took the Let's Celebrate stem set from my favorite things, and I took this adorable sentiment out of it. I love the script here, hooray it's your birthday, and I'm going to white heat emboss it on that background. So we have this really bright area on the background, and now we are just going to add some white heat embossing and let that sentiment pop off that background. So the embossing powder that I'm using is the white one from Ranger Super Fine Detail. It's a really handy one for any sentiment that you have because of the fact that it's really fine. It helps you with the thick and thin scripts. If you have a thick embossing powder, then it sometimes can ruin the script if it's a really fine one. In this case, just perfect. I love using this embossing powder. I don't have tons of embossing powders, but this one is really great and I don't need any other. Whenever I need white, I'm using this one. Now to adhere the images, I'm going to use some thin foam squares here, and then we will add it to the panel. So I'm just figuring out how I'm going to place it. I think it's a really playful card, this one, also because of the stencil, I think. And it's also really simple at the same time. So I am adhering everything, and I think the idea of adding white jelly roll pen details came because of the white heat embossing. It was going to jump off the rest of the background as well, so that's why I decided to do that. So I'm zooming in here. I'm first adding a few details on all of the images. Truly, where was I adding it? Mostly on the areas where I had my darker colors, so maybe it's a bit strange to add highlights over there, but they just stand out the best on the darker areas, so therefore I did that. And I also added like a dot on the eyes to let them sparkle. And then once I started on the images, I just couldn't stop myself. I continued with the stenciled area. I added some stars, some bigger ones being like a cross, and then some others being just dots on the background, some bigger, some smaller. They can be further away or closer towards us. So play a bit with size and just add as many as you want to. I just tried to add some stars everywhere, and then I needed to hold myself to contain it tiny bit. And that was my second card. So I have two cards just created for you. I hope that one of them inspires you today, that you love, of course, the end results. Let me know what you think. Again, Happy New Year, and I hope to see you next time again. Bye!